welcome to Real Monsters, the Mini Monsters companion podcast. I keep changing this every week. And
is this the companion podcast or the smaller one's companion podcast?
They're companions to each other.
Okay.
They need each other, Amy. One needs the other to survive. There is no real monsters without mini monsters. There's no mini monsters without real monsters. Mini monsters gives you half the story, and then we give you the discussion. You get the story on mini monsters and the discussion over here. So really, mini monsters could survive well and truly without us.
Yeah.
Do you know what we are really though? We're like a deconstructed
sandwich
podcast. I was going to say, Amy, which I think would be closer to the mark.
Probably.
But I was going to say like a true crime paranormal kind of podcast deconstructed. I'm going to give you all the details for free, but for the discussion, you must pay. Pay the toll. Anyway, I was thinking, right, about how, do you know, I became interested in true crime because we make the joke the whole time that we're kind of like, for people who feel guilty about listening to or watching these true crime shows, you can listen to us and watch the horror movies and feel like it's the same thing. Yeah. But I kind of realized that I got into true crime because of the way I consumed media at that time. And it was all reading. Yeah. So I was reading about these crimes, and then eventually it was podcasts where I was listening to other people talk about them and joke about them. But lately, since we've had to research, guys, and you're listening to them now for the first time, themselves talking, their voices, and them describing what they're doing, it's another level of scary. Do you know, before they weren't scary to me. They were just stories that I read. Articles that I read. Yeah. To hear them describe stuff and go through stuff so calmly, with ease, you know, like it's not a problem. Or well, in Ted Bundy.
I was just about to say Ted Bundy. He was like
that man was stressed the fuck out while he was confessing. He was. I could just imagine him like a bold dog in a corner. Do you know, like he's whispering and he's not making eye contact with anybody. No. This fuck we're going to talk about today, though. I'd say he
didn't even refer to himself, did he? And then he.
I think when he whispered. No. I think when it was the whispering. That was when he had to confess and he had to put himself in the position of the killer. But any other time he spoke of the killings, he would refer to the killer in the third person. So it was never Ted that did it. It was, you know, if I was the killer, this is what I would think the killer did. Or this is what I think the killer did. Yeah. And then he'd describe it, but it was basically him telling him what he did. But I suppose near the end, he was desperate to try and get some sort of a deal, so he thought that, you know, maybe if he started to confess this stuff, he'd get a bit of leniency. Yeah. But that's when he, like you said, the shame of it. And he was just whispering.
It makes it worse, the fact that he was so ashamed about that he did do it. As you know, it does.
But was it more of a fucking shame, like a psychopathic shame of like, I can't believe these fucking people caught me, or that, you know, because he had that idea of status and power in his head, and they say like that a lot of CEOs and high power business people are psychopaths. That you know, they don't use their fucking psychopathy to kill; they use it to basically become ruthless in business. And you know, do you think that was in his head, that's what he kind of saw himself as, but he was more like fucking Psycho. What's your man, Jason Bateman? No, Jason Bateman's the guy from
American Psycho. Oh, no.
He's very from fucking Arrested Development, as far as I know.
It is.
Patrick Bateman, is that it? Yeah. I said Jason Bateman.
I said Patrick.
Yeah. Right. I got the guy from Arrested Development. But yeah, I think Ted Bundy might have seen himself in that kind of role, do you know? If he had seen that movie, he would have definitely thought, that's what I want. To be kind of seen as a high-class kind of person, making lots of money and living the high life, but still killing on the side. I think even though people reckon BTK idolized Bundy a little bit, that if Bundy had seen the life that BTK was living, he would have idolized that. The fact that he was able to keep that family life down and keep everything going so smooth. I think there's a lot of serial killers out there that probably look to BTK as one of the I know he got caught like a bumbling idiot, but in terms of keeping the balance, and I mean, if he really wanted to, he could have gotten away with it.
Oh yeah. He just didn't have to ask that question.
I still completely reckon
I agree with you.
He wanted it. But, So we get to talk about Robert Hansen today, thanks to Dexter. And I'm enjoying doing Dexter. I am. But I had that problem while I was doing Dexter, another subject that I wanted to do popped. I didn't know it was going to pop its head up, but it popped its head up and it got my attention. So I'm trying to split my attention between these two things. And I'm struggling. There's lots of information coming from every fucking angle. And but I think I have an interesting idea for what's coming up in the next few weeks.
Cool.
We won't say anything because this could fall flat in its fucking face.
Again.
But this is I'm really swinging it here if this one works out for me.
Fine.
I've done all the research. I've watched all the movies. There's lots of movies. I'm reading the book. I'm putting the effort in. I have a companion book to read with lots of details.
And he's nearly now finished the 7th Harry Potter book.
Oh, challenge accepted.
No! I would sooner do Star Wars.
Speaking of Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
We are doing the Boggarts this week. And I just thought this was a Harry Potter thing. I didn't know it was real. But essentially, though, it is just a kind of a slang word for ghost in England, right?
It is. There is a dialectologist, Elizabeth Wright, and she described the Boggarts as a generic name for an apparition. And another guy, Simon Young, defined it as any ambivalent or evil, solitary, supernatural spirit. So
this is most likely just a kind of a regional name that got kind of...
Yeah.
And it is, but now popular because it's in a movie.
Yeah. There's some regions in England as well that if you have like a skittish horse, that they'd say, oh, he's got the Boggarts. So like basically they'd seen like an evil spirit that put the woolies in him.
What was the thing in Harry Potter and you had to try and think of it in a ridiculous manner or something?
That was it. So in Harry Potter, it would it was kind of like...
It was going to take on your greatest fear.
Yeah. Is that like Pennywise? Is Pennywise not like...
Well, he's a clown most of the time, but he uses your fear.
Yeah, but then you just smile.
Okay, you just don't believe in it. I think, didn't they try the same thing? Isn't that the same rule with Freddy Krueger as well? That if you just don't believe in him hard enough, he'll fuck off.
Just don't believe in him hard enough.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so the one in Harry Potter takes on your greatest fear, and then you've got to think of something really stupid, and then you shout ridiculous and wait.
Oh, that was ridiculous. That was it. Yeah. And they didn't want Harry to do it because they were afraid that Voldemort would come walking out of the fucking...
That was it, but instead he fucking brought the fucking Dementors. Good job.
I understand. Do you know when I was reading that book as a kid, I understood. Do you know when they were talking about like the draining feeling in the chocolate?
Yeah.
I could just imagine. You know when you get a lot of blood taken at the hospital and you're really woozy. Yeah. Like that's what I've imagined it felt like. To an extreme level.
But chocolate does help a lot of things.
Oh yeah, sugar levels.
Yeah.
Back up. We used to have at the tattoo studio, if there was like a panic like that, if someone passed out getting a bit piercing, usually we had glucose tablets there, like Lucozade glucose tablets and stuff like that. And so if someone was feeling faint, we'd give them the sugar tablet and they'd boost up.
I never knew that.
And then we keep them hanging around for maybe a half an hour or so that we can make sure they were okay before they went away, or make sure someone was with them when they were leaving. But
see, I always brought my 4-in-1.
But in the early days, before we realised there was glucose tablet, like when we first opened in the first week or two, and it happened to us for the first time, and we were inexperienced.
Yeah.
I just remember running over across the road to the shop and buying a shitload of Mars bars and coming back and just like it was like eat, and I was just getting.
How many people were coming in with like low?
Well, this was the one person. I just bought a bunch because I didn't know how much fucking we need to get into them. Like, I got him a bottle of Lucozade as well. Like, and got him to drink it.
Lucozade is amazing.
But after that, then when I was up in the pharmacy buying gloves for the tattoo studio, I saw glucose tablets and I was like, okay, I want a box of them too, please.
A box.
Oh yeah, we used to buy in bulk. But yeah, if you had a Boggart, what would it come out as? Harry Potter rules, like, what would yours come out?
I know, because you see, I think it would be terrifying. You've pointed out before that when I have a nightmare, it's not usually anything ghostly.
So what would it be like? Just me flopping out of there dead?
Like a fucking like a dead body or something. Because that's what usually my nightmares are. Like it's like one of you going like. So it would be. That's probably what.
So basically, the Boggart would come out and it'd just be me and the kids in the pile, and you'd be like, "That's it."
In a pile, yeah.
And then how do you make that ridiculous? You have us get up and do like that. Make us stand up and do the Thriller dance. You know we're alive, really. So just have fun with it.
Yeah, you see, I don't know if that would work. So, because technically, it's my biggest fear, but I know that you're alive in the next room. So,
yeah.
I mean,
See, that would be the same thing, because that would be my biggest fear too, is when I think about it realistically. I mean, I fair enough, it
But
come
you
out as
do
a
have those
spider.
creepy thingies in your dreams that, like, would they not be?
But hang on 1 minute. Hang on now. When have I ever said that those nightmares bothered me? I've always...
When I gotta wake you out of them.
Yeah, you do, but are my words not usually... Yeah, I gotta get back into that. And I go straight back to sleep. I get an adrenaline rush out of fucking nightmare.
But the next time that
is why I'm suited to what we do now.
The next time you actually make those noises, though, where I know you're having those dreams, I'm going to record you and listen and let you
Oh, I know it's terrifying.
It sounds terrifying. It sounds like you're
at that point, I'm stuck.
Terrified.
I do need you to wake me. At that point, I'm in the dream where I am stuck, so I need you to wake me up and it's a reset. Once you wake me up, I'm getting back in there for the fight.
Yeah.
I am determined to fight that fucking thing. And I have come close. I've gotten close. I've gotten as far as the landing from my bed in one dream before it got me down. But I reckon I can take it eventually. But I don't know what it is. Any nightmare I have has always kind of given me an adrenaline rush. I don't really have spooky ones outside of that one. Like
maybe once every few years, maybe.
You see, even that one seems almost cinematic to me when it's happening. There's not anything like creeping over me or fucking luring over me. It's not like fucking the Haunting Hill House or anything like that, you know?
The tall man.
Nothing like that happens to me. And I mean, there was other times where I've had zombie apocalypse nightmares. Do you remember there was a series of them where I had a reoccurring... Oh, I loved them. They were so much fun. I remember you being well happy going into them. Oh, when I used to watch the Pacific and the head shops were open and they used to be selling bonsai at that season. Bonsai was a fucking hardcore weed kind of strain thing. Yeah. I hope it was a weed. I don't know. God only knows what it was at this point. It's stupid that they were fucking allowed. To be honest, we didn't know what we were smoking. But it was legal. But I'd smoke that and then I'd watch the Pacific. And it was a very intense feeling. And then I'd go to bed and I would have full-blown World War II nightmares. Like flashback nightmares. Like I was there. And it was...
Pacific side or were you like Europe?
The flamethrowers, man. That was the worst nightmare.
The flamethrowers.
I remember like being in the kind of, you know those like tunnel trenches they had where the boys started putting the flamethrowers down. And I remember in the dream running and I could feel the heat touching my back as I was running, you know, in the dream. And I could hear the fire coming up behind me. And then I woke up in a sweat. And I was like, I need to do that again. But yeah, nightmares never bothered me, so I can't really catch me that way. But I suppose, and I've already said what I'd do. I'd know you were actually alive. I'd know it was a boggart, so I would probably get you to do a little trigger dance for us all. It has to be ridiculous, so I might as well go with that.
I think I wouldn't. I don't know if me doing the thriller dance would be ridiculous. I think I could pull it off. Thank you.
Get you to do the chicken dance then.
Okay, I'll be ridiculous. Put me in a costume.
What?
Put me in a big chicken costume.
Exactly. Okay, so that's how you deal with boggarts. But was that completely made up for Harry Potter, or was there any belief to that at all about it being shape-shifting? To your fear, like.
Shape-shifting to your fear? No, I don't think it actually played on like.
That's just a pure J.K. Rowling thing for.
I mean, she takes actual legitimate, mythological beings and creepy things, but like kind of puts a tiny extra thing in there usually. Yeah, okay, Grindylows or Selkies, they were all in.
Funny that she doesn't like other people doing that.
I never thought of it like that.
You take something good and you add a little extra.
Boy, but no. Boy, but you know what's so fucking hypocritical, right? Okay, I'll shut up about it after this. This is the woman that had to change her... She had to use J.K. Rowling as her pen name to come across as a fucking man to actually sell her books. She writes her mystery novels under a man's name. I mean, I know...
Does she have more books than Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Before Harry Potter?
No, this is since, but she writes under a man's name. I mean, I understand that there's a difference, but at the same time, it's like...
It's her complaint isn't so much against people transitioning. Her complaint is more about the amount of pronouns and stuff, isn't it? She's very much, it's a he or a she. There's no in between. As opposed, so I don't think she's out and out saying
mm,
I hate trans people or don't. Isn't she?
She
Or
hasn't said. I don't think she said that she's hate them, but
I
mean,
she said she knows trans people and
stuff.
she's been friendly with trans people.
I've seen things from her where she's like, basically, like, you are not a she, you are not a woman unless you are biologically, unless you were born with ovaries and stuff like that. And that's, I mean,
why do people take? Why do you have
why
to
do
take
people
the
take
chance?
offense?
Why do you care? Why do you put so much effort into giving a shit about what anybody else is doing? Who cares? I mean, you know,
if everybody's happy in doing what they are doing, it's.
Unless that's what makes you happy, that's it. You do. I don't know, but like, why do you care? Like, well, especially if you're a multi-millionaire.
The first thing that I kind of caught a whiff of it about her, and the whole thing was her not wanting trans to use women's bathrooms.
I don't know. See, it's a weird fucking one because you have the, like, that kind of fucking idea of there being certain athletes that are willing to transition to become champions. Do you know that they have that level of commitment to being a champion that they'll transition because they know that they're physically more dominant than the other women. But
you not have to go through like psychological evaluation and all that before it's like...
Yeah, you do, but I mean, I'm sure there's ways around it. So I'm not accusing anyone of doing that. I mean, I remember the South Park episode where they took the piss and had like the macho man, Randy Savage kind of guy who said he was transitioning just so he could beat the shit out of all the women and win all the medals. But
I don't know what her problem was about the toilets though, because I will just point out that I've never seen a urinal in a lady's toilet, so the door's going to be fucking closed anyway.
They're compared. And again, I'm only devil's advocate here and saying what the other side are saying. I know I am completely against. I think just leave them be women.
Have fucking unisex toilets and be done with it.
The problem they have there is that there are disgusting men who will do disgusting things to see and do more disgusting things. So men will pretend to be fucking, who will happily put on a fucking dress and makeup just so that they can go into a fucking women's bathroom and look at you while.
But I've been in unisex toilets before.
I have too, but I would say you probably need security on. You'd need security on those fucking unisex bathrooms. Do you know? Yeah. You can't. I think it's just a problem.
I don't see somewhere though. Was it France or the UK? Are they bringing it in soon? Unisex bathrooms for everyone.
I know there was
going forward.
My former secondary school, I think there was an issue about that lady because they opened a new building for them.
Yeah.
And they moved schools, and there's one bathroom that is unisex. Originally, they said all the bathrooms were unisex, and there was a kick up over it. And then they had to re-say it, and they were like, all right, look, we have 3 floors. 1 floor is unisex, 1 floor is girls, 1 floor is boys.
But you know which bathroom's most popular in a
So, fuck. Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. You want to put the unisex one as close to the principal's office as possible. But,
that's what I'd be using.
But that's the problem, and it's terrible to say it, like, but that is the problem. There's guys who will go to extraordinary lengths to do the strangest shit. And that's why unisex bathrooms won't work. And that's why you do have that problem and that constant fucking discussion about it. I mean, yeah, realistically, it should just be a case of if you want to be a girl, then go be a girl and be in a girl's bathroom. What difference does it fucking make? But a few bad eggs, a few bad apples, all that shit.
Fucking Karens.
Huh?
And mix them together with a few fucking Karens.
Oh, God, I don't know. It's a complicated issue. It really fucking is, but... If everyone had the same attitude as us, we just don't care.
We don't care.
No. I don't care. As in, I don't really give a shit what you do with your life.
Well, fully supportive of it, but if they...
You do what you need to do. I don't want to do. Everybody's happy. Who cares?
Exactly.
Why should I get what? Not why should I care in the sense of I don't care if you get your rights or not. I mean, why should I care? As in life, why is this my problem? This doesn't seem like a me problem.
Everybody should have the exact same as everybody fucking else, the same right, the same scope to do whatever the fuck that they want to do and just be happy within it. Do
you know what's an easy way to deal with this? Simple way to deal with this. You made, which actually a point you made just a few seconds ago, and I'm just expanding on it.
What?
Now you said there is no urinals in women's bathrooms. Mm-hmm. Take urinals out of bathrooms. Get rid of urinals. You get rid of urinals, then you got solo fucking bathroom stalls. Everybody gets their own fucking toilet. That's what I'm going to run. That's my policy from my presidency.
Sounds like a man who hates urinals.
A toilet for everyone.
you get bladder shy?
Oh, I never use urinals.
I knew it.
Never, ever.
Knew it.
Yeah.
Why, is that a common thing? Do you hate using urinals?
No, most times I don't know why I lock up. I just do. I'm just that way. It's just there's not unless the room's empty, I can pee away. But that if one of the two kids with me, I don't really give a shit.
You have to learn.
Fionn has bladder shyness.
Fionn doesn't.
Fionn can't pee in front of other people.
Actually, yeah. Actually, he can't. Can he?
Can't pee in front of other people at all. Just me. I and you, obviously. But if we go into a bathroom and he's a public bathroom, he sees that it's empty, he gets excited because he gets to use the urinal and he runs over. And if he's about to use the urinal and someone else comes in, he'll just be like, I'm going to get into the cubicle. He'll want him to go straight away. Just can't. I don't know. I just lock up. So there's no rational reason for it. I don't understand that, but it's just, just a thing.
Mad.
How the fuck do we get onto that from Boggarts? Oh yeah, J.K. Rowling. Well, yeah, a toilet for everybody. I'm running. That's my campaign policy. That's what I'm running on. Irish government.
Sounds like your man that wants to send. What was his name? John Field sending all the cops to Lanzarote once a year. Fucking hell.
Oh god. All right.
Okay.
It's the Boggarts. What about the Bunny Man?
Bunny Man. So the Bunny Man, that was an urban legend that originated from two incidents in Fairfax County, Virginia in 1970. So most of the stories occur around Colchester Overpass, a southern railway overpass spanning Colchester Road near Clifton, Virginia. And that in itself is sometimes referred to as the Bunny Man Bridge.
I would like to go there. I want to see the Bunny Man Bridge. But do you think that this is a bit like the whole clown incident from, what was it, 2019?
Was it
2019?
Definitely since we've been together.
Yeah, well, it was around when when it came out.
Yeah,
that was when it really fucking took off. Where the random.
Was the propaganda like from the movie Smile? Like, Nora was.
I don't think so. No, it gotta be fucking weird.
That thing on Craigslist, they hired the clown to come over. Do you remember that?
It wasn't Craigslist. It was off the dark web.
Oh, it's off the dark web.
Yeah, it's a TikTok video, I think. I've seen two different versions of that where they've done that twice. Like, and they invite one of these dark web clowns over to the house, and it's fucked up. Yeah,
okay.
I've never been on the dark web. I've no plans to go near the dark web. It does not seem like there's anything on there for me that I need or require or no. That's where all the bad people are. But this Bunny Man thing, so there's absolutely no proof. There's no actual case here of anybody being hurt by a man in a bunny costume.
No. Well, basically, there's two.
There's a trilogy of movies about this.
And the first incident was on October 19th, 1970, and U.S. Air Force Army cadet Robert Bennett and his fiancée, who were visiting relatives on Guinea Road in Burke, reported the incident. So around midnight, they were returning home from a football game. And they parked their car in a field on Guinea Road to visit an uncle who lived across the street from where the car was parked. And as they sat in the front seat with the motor running, they noticed something outside the rear window. And then a few minutes later, the front passenger window was smashed and there was a white-clad figure standing near the broken window. And when Bennett turned the car around, while the man screamed at them that they were trespassing, saying, "You're on private property, I have your tag number." And they said that they found a hatchet then on the car floor while they were driving away.
Can you imagine how mental that would be? You're sitting in your car, and next thing an axe comes through the window, and there's a man in a bunny costume going, "You're trespassing! You're on private property!"
Ben swears that it was a bunny costume, and that was bunny ears. But the fiancé describes it more like what was the word? A capirote, Ku Klux Klan hood.
Oh, so she just reckoned it was a Klansman, like?
No, she didn't say it was, but the way she describes it, if you were to draw it, that's
it'll be a Klansman.
Yeah.
So she was like, it was a spooky ghost with a spiky head. Klansman.
It was a rabbit with a triangle.
One of the fucking Grand Wizard nerds.
Now
fucking D&D nerds are at it again. Fucking hell. So Hannah, there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 incidents in 1970 alone for the Bunny Man.
There?
Yeah. Are these articles?
No, these are articles. There was 5 articles about the incident. There was 2 incidents. The other one was on October 29th, 1970, and security guard Paul Phillips approached a man standing on the porch of an unfinished home in Kings Park West on Guinea Road. So Philip said the man was wearing a grey, black, and white bunny costume, and that he was about 20 years old, 5 feet 8 inches, and weighed about 175 pounds, which I think is pretty much fucking spot on for someone that you're seeing in a bunny costume in the dead of night. Like, so the man began chopping at a porch with a long-handled axe, saying, "You're trespassing. If you come any closer, I'll chop off your head."
Do you know what's creepier? I think in my own head. Obviously, you think of this kind of person, you probably think of like the bunny costume as being raggedy and dirty, and you know, like this guy's a bit of a drunk or a bit of a drug addict looking kind of guy with a bunny costume. Yeah, wouldn't it be a whole lot scarier if it was one of those furries kind of bunny costume and he was spotlessly clean, holding the axe, and he had a real fucking
right? Are we saying that he's all bunny costume, or is he like the bunnies in like the Lucasade at that time?
No, he's like a furry. Oh, what's the Lucasade ad?
Oh, no, that was kind of a sexy ad.
Okay, I thought it was a creepy ad.
No. They had like, you know, like the furry heads, the bunny ones. But
is it just
like
a Chippendale with fucking teeth and fucking like basically a Playboy fucking bunny, except in the male version, in the Chippendale version?
Yeah, but they had more kind of teddy bear heads, and they were in a really nice forest, and there's those of Chinese lanterns, and they look like...
Oh, the heads. Oh, I think I do. Was this for Caramel?
Oh, I thought it was Lucasade.
Oh, maybe it was Lucasade.
Caramel Lucasade?
Because Caramel used to always have the bunny rabbit.
Oh, no, that was that's the bunny. No, yeah.
But I thought they did it up there. You know, I do kind of remember. They're all wearing furries' heads.
Yeah, like teddy bears and stuff. Cute, cuddly teddy bears.
They're called furries, Amy. There's a whole fucking...
No, but these were like an actual like teddy bears that I have upstairs, like an actual teddy bear. Are furries not furries? Are they not like, you know, like actual kind of like, as in like...
No, like teddy bears and cartoon.
Oh, the furries that I watched on that thing on ITV that night, they were all kind of like, oh, I'm an alpha wolf and this is my wolf person and that's my other wolf person. And...
Could you see their face and stuff?
Yeah.
No. These people were like full fucking on. Do you know, like...
But these people wore tails.
Yeah.
But that was it.
They're essentially fucking, from what I've seen.
Oh.
Hang on.
Maybe you have extreme furries and not so extreme furries.
But they don't. They say it's not a sexual thing.
Is it not?
They say it can be.
But you think
it's not.
Those infantilization people say that it's not a sexual thing either.
Huh?
The baby people who say it's not a sexual thing.
It's just a bit weird.
The
yeah, look,
babies.
come over here, over here.
Oh, no.
They essentially look like cartoon characters. It's a teddy bear kind of cartoon characters.
Oh, I've seen people dressed like that do weird stuff.
No, okay, go back to your microphone.
Excuse me?
Fuck up the levels. But what I'm asking you is, would it be more scary to see that standing there with an axe or fucking drug addict looking fucking guy in a bad Bugs Bunny costume?
Depends what was in my system at the time.
Oh god, fucking furry. No, I don't. Let the furries have fun too.
I think that's cute, but there is something. Was it on the last podcast or the last stream where they showed like somebody dressed like that? But it was like that they weren't. It was because they were lying down in a bed, and it was like they were trying to be sexy about it, but it looked really clumsy, and it looked like a movie.
No, wasn't it like a?
They had someone in PVC do something similar. They had someone in full biker gear do something similar with somebody else in biker gear, and they had a furry. Yeah. Or maybe the furry was doing it to the person, the pretend person in biker
gear. That was it, something weird. It was humping some weird fucking balloon thing or modeling. I can't remember. Fuck me, yeah, that was weird. Mm-hmm. But
that,
again,
not kink shaming, but if you put kind of like some ambience music over it, mightn't be as creepy.
And we're not accusing any road furries of being the bunny man.
Oh no.
Alright, we'll move on to our big two for this week. And I picked these two because I thought they fit closest with what we were dealing with on the main show with Dexter. Because Dexter, we're going into episode 4, we're going into the final stretch, we're going into faking his death, and we're going into season 9 in New Blood. So I suggested John List and Robert Hansen.
Yes.
And Robert Hansen is one of the guys who I said that is just hearing his voice is just unsettling.
I wasn't expecting a voice like that, to be honest. He's
very
soft-spoken.
But again, completely
soft-spoken, but there's a bit of like a raspy, kind of like an old woman, kind of
no remorse in the way, but not like. Not no remorse in a way of like spiteful, but no remorse as in he doesn't realise there should be a remorse.
I know. I think that he
Do you know what
does,
I mean?
but that he doesn't fucking have it because when they were talking,
He
to him,
didn't see
but
the
when he was-
prostitutes as the same as normal.
Oh,
women,
I know.
like,
But when they were questioning him, and he was like,
okay,
and
so
he-
we are going with Robert Hansen first.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
no, let's do it. Keep going.
But then, and he was like, oh, how could you think that I could do that? My God, bring those women out. He said that, my God, because I remember him saying that and thinking of the tone of it and how easy it came to him to feign the whole, like, incredulous, I can't believe you think I'd do such a thing, like.
What a weak ass excuse for becoming a serial killer too.
Yeah.
What made you a serial killer? My dad got me up and made me bake bread. 12 o'clock at night, I was baking bread. Fucking went crazy, man. You gotta kill locusts, man.
Which is worse, blaming a gas station or blaming a loaf of bread?
Yeah, last week we were fucking these two fools blaming the gas station. This fucking idiot fucking blaming the bread. And I mean, but my God, do you know what? I mean, outside of listening to him for the first time, the only season of Dexter I actually watched while covering Dexter was New Blood. Because I'd only seen it once.
Yeah.
And I'd seen the rest of them, so reading up on it was enough for me to kind of patch together, watching recaps and stuff like that was enough to patch together. But it was way too much there for me to be watching. But I managed to get through New Blood in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
On in the background while I was working. And knowing Robert Hansen's story and looking at Kurt Cadwell and what he was doing made it all the fucking more scarier, you know? It was absolutely fucked there. Watching, you know, how he let the girl go and she's running and he's just like setting up. But Hansen takes it to a whole new fucking level because it sounds like he was fucking hunting them. Like, it wasn't like Cadwell where he just left them go, stood at the Friday's front fucking door, put a fucking sniper rifle on him and got him with a laser pointer. This guy went full on trapping them in the fire, letting them go, giving them a head start and chasing them down, but for the fun and the thrill of the hunt. Like, I mean, like literally the greatest game kind of fucking stuff. Like, it's terrifying to be honest. To listen to him even describing it, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were saying it to me. You were like, fucking, as we were watching this documentary about him, and he was there, and he was like, when he was talking about what was in it, and what Annie.
Eclut Nanny. Yeah.
When they were talking about her and he was talking about her and he kind of played it up as if it was his first kill.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, I promised her I wouldn't hurt her if she played along, but it didn't go as planned, not like the others. And then he kind of gets to the point where he was like, she said, oh, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. And I said I wouldn't kill her, and I plunged the knife into her. And I looked at you and I was like, I thought this was supposed to be his first kill. He just said, not like the others. Why has no one picked up on this? And then it's like, well, no. And then I remembered the map they found where he had marked out all the bodies and where they were. And
but he'd also had been kidnapping people and letting them go as well. Like,
just for the rape of it.
He progressed, as in, like, he first went hiring prostitutes and then he progressed, like, to, as in, like, he did kidnap first and then...
What the fuck were the pimps doing up in Alaska? How are you earning your fucking money? These women are getting fucking raped. Did you think they'd go looking for this fucking Hansen guy? Like, it's Alaska. It's not that big of a community. I know they were going on that the community was growing. But like you said, this Lee Evans looking motherfucker wouldn't be hard to pick out of a crowd. You know?
Yeah. He's very memorable.
If you brought one of the girls in who had seen him and kept him around the fucking the clubs, she would eventually spot him again and she'd be able to say, hey, that's the guy that fucking...
Oh, yeah. I mean, like...
Thing. And the pimp would take care of the fucking... He would earn his money.
Oh, exactly.
You know?
Like, he's known to have raped and assaulted over 30 before even killing.
Before killing.
Yeah.
But 17, and that's 17 confirmed.
17 confirmed.
Up to 20, but there's like 21 marks on his fucking little map, so we know there's more. Like, he's just...
I wonder those ones that he's ashamed of.
Again, it's crazy. And what led him to confess to all of them when he confessed to 4? Was it just because they had the map? And I mean, that's not enough evidence. They could go just look at the points on the map and fucking find the bodies.
I think.
Well,
if they go to those...
just in case of the death penalty was taken off the table? Like, he was...
I think that they knew as soon as they found the guns in his attic, because there was different types of guns. and different types, like so different bullets. But as soon as they started investigating those X's on the map, they'd be able to exhume the bodies and match the cartridges to the guns that he had. So he knew that probably better to confess. I mean, what gets to me was he was getting on. He knew he was never going to see fucking daylight again. So why keep those 4 people secret? Why keep those 4 others secret?
Is we were watching a documentary and the fucking cop is like, we knew after the fucking 3rd one that it was fucking Hansen and we couldn't get the evidence. And it's like, why? Number one, if you're not Robert Hansen, who is just being questioned about this, why do you drop another body there? Why do you not up sticks and move? That's what Dexter did. He moved. And that's what he was trying to do at the end of fucking New Blood when things went to shit. Move the fuck out when they're getting close. Yeah. This guy stuck around his ballsy, like to rub it in their face and continue doing it even though he knows they're looking into them. And why were they not looking into him further? Why were they not watching him constantly? That's what they do here in Ireland. When they know a gangster is up to no good and they know that the gangster is behind a number of big crimes, and they want to fucking stop that gangster from... They've done it to at least two big crime gangs in this country. They will put a police detail on every member of that gang and follow them everywhere they go, all the fucking time. And the general was taken down that way, and a family whose name I don't even want to fucking mention was taken down that way. And that's what they do. Not too far away from us, Amy.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what they do. The cops just went full in. We're going to be on you like fucking flies to shit. We are not fucking leaving your side so you cannot commit a crime. Yeah. And as soon as you do, we will be here to witness it. So they kept forcing their hands so that when they did commit crimes, they were getting caught instantly.
But they pull you over to make sure you've got tax and insurance and all.
Oh, fat Freddie Thompson up in fucking Dublin, like, was saying he was getting pulled over constantly. They pulled him over on one stage and he was in drag. And the reason he was in drag was to try and fucking keep them off him, for them to not know it was him. But he was in full drag, like, makeup and all.
Fair play. I wonder who did the makeup for him, or did he get used to it?
I'd have loved to have seen a picture. If the fucking papers were there for that would have been great. Yeah, so, I mean, that just baffles me why the fuck Robert Hansen didn't just leave at this point, you know?
Don't get it.
I mean, and again, here's a guy who has a family. He's got a wife, 2 kids. How did he convince these women to go off for him? Like,
well, I mean, there was one woman and he offered her $200 for a blowjob. This is $200 and like.
Oh, that was the hookers. I'm talking about the woman that married him. Sorry, I can answer my own question there. They use religion. These guys get into a religion and then they find their wives through these religions and they get fucking married and, you know, the wives are innocent and know fucking nothing about what's going on in the man's life and he's off raping and killing people again.
Yep.
But so the remains of 12 of a probable 21 to 37 victims were exhumed by the police and returned to their families. That is absolutely fucking bonkers. And this guy had a plane. No one fucking, I mean, and they checked out his plane, didn't they?
They checked out his plane. They were in his basement. They were in his house. They searched his house before, and they had to come away because.
What was that witness's name? She's the one that bolted, wasn't she? And that sounded so much. When she was describing that, it was fucked up because I could picture it. Because it was literally, they used it in Dexter New Blood. When they're talking about Kirk Caldwell, when he's they're showing his first kill. Yeah. But he's telling it as if it was his father that did it to get himself out of trouble for the chief's missing friend.
Yeah.
And what happens is he's kind of telling Joanne that he's going to take her home because it's rough out there in the street. He knows how rough it's going to be. And Joanne's like, I don't want to go home. And she jumps out of the fucking truck. And she starts running. He's like, she bit him when he tried to stop him. Yeah. And then he pulls out she's running. He's like, I'm only trying to help you. And then he pulls out the gun and he shoots her.
Yeah.
And that's his rationale for killing in the end, is that all these girls thought the grass was greener outside of the fucking town and I needed to fucking keep them here. So he preserves her. He shoots them at that age, preserves their bodies and puts them into those pods and they're preserved forever, perfect in a place where they can't be hurt, and that was his logic towards it. Yeah. Whereas this guy, I don't know what was his MO for it. I know he just wanted to kill, so he killed prostitutes because he didn't, and apparently strippers because he saw them as not real women, not good women, bad women. So that was his rationale for killing them. But was he religious in any way? Did he have any other reasoning for it outside of that? Or was it just, I wanted to kill, and like a Dexter kind of fucking thing again, I wanted to kill, but I'll only kill killers because it's okay because they're killers.
Well,
in this case, I'll only kill hookers because they're hookers, and who gives a shit about hookers?
Yeah. But it started off being a thing of that he could do things with hookers that he couldn't do with good girls.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But
that's why the mafia keep a girlfriend on the side as well.
Yeah, exactly. But as in, he meant the whole, as in, like, you know, like, abducting, assaulting, and then letting them back.
Like, the rape had to be part of the sexual trip. Like, basically, he wasn't going to get off on just sleeping with his wife.
Exactly.
He wanted the thriller hunt.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was catch and release to start with.
Yeah, I like with Cindy Paulson, he raped her and kind of tortured her as well. I don't know how bad the torture was, but he definitely tortured her. This was the woman that got away.
Yeah. Imagine being, just realising how fucking lucky you are afterwards when he's actually caught and all this. But this is when we were talking about when they knew at that point, like he had only 3 or 4, or in their eyes, 3 or 4 bodies. And they knew and they couldn't fucking put anything on him. Mm-hmm. And he was able to continue on and did continue on fucking picking women up and killing them.
But like you said, if they knew after the 3rd body it was him, why let him just do what the fuck he wants? Why not constantly fucking follow?
But that's what they did once they figured out D'Angelo was fucking not the Green River, but the Golden State Killer. That's what they did. They were like, they wanted to get more evidence on him, but they knew it was him, so they stayed watching him. It was like, if this guy does anything,
you're going to die if you don't stay watching.
Well, in D'Angelo's case, he had been retired a very long time.
Okay.
Obviously Hansen was active, but...
Well, then how come the retired one gets the fucking...
Ridiculous, isn't that fucking... That's what I'm saying. Well, again, this is different in times. Like your man said as well, on the documentary, you have to remember, this is before the internet, this is the 70s. They were trying to fucking put this stuff together manually. There was no way of just quickly Googling shit. You have to, just cross-referencing one thing or just looking up one thing could take an entire day's work. You know?
Again, not to jump stories, I'm not saying I'm going to say whole lot about the same with journalists, as in like they want to check or church records for him or Lutheran churches all around the country, and the FBI said no, I don't have the time. And then they came back and were like, well, maybe we should check church records.
Well, I see again. I think when you get to bigger level federal kind of crimes, I don't think they give as much of a shit. Journalists to them would have been just a kind of
sensationalized case.
So he's like, well, he's not going to do this again, you know. This guy just wanted to get rid of
How do you know, though? How do you know if he didn't have another... I know that they're very good at profiling, but how do you know that if he had another family...
And if he did, and it happened again, then they'd be able to justify allocating the funds to a task force to finding that person.
It's so fucking terrible that a whole other family would have to die.
Yeah. But I mean, that unfortunately, like in the cases with Robert Hansen and stuff like that, that is the case with 90% of these serial killers. When they know who their guy is, they have to wait and watch for this guy to rather kill again and slip up and leave some DNA. Or if the case goes cold, they're sitting there waiting for the fucking next death. Like they're waiting for somebody to be murdered, and they're dying for that next body because it's another step closer to catching the guy, and they can't get there without him doing it. So they're stuck, you know. So what do you do? But then I was wondering as well, do half of these police officers, when they have when they get a case like this, it has to be very cinematic around the place. You know, between like the media, between the actual, you know, the task forces being put together, the back and forth. I know there's probably long periods of time of nothing happening. But when they're finished, they know that once, if they catch this guy or this guy gets caught and they're on that fucking team, they know they can retire after this and they can live out their life on book deals where they don't even have to write the books. They can get a ghostwriter. Doing fucking tours, talking about it, you know, fucking seminars, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. I wonder, do they fucking relish the idea of it? Plus, I mean, I always said it too, if I was going to be anything, that would be the type of cop I'd want to be. You'd be a homicide cop that you're chasing someone down the whole time, you know? And that thrill of fucking... The same way he got the thrill out of catching the women, I would assume a homicide detective of that level would have to have that same fucking thrill for the hunt.
Yeah.
Do you know that you want to fucking catch this guy? You know, but the only difference is your reasonings are very different from his.
Yeah.
His is just an urge to fucking kill.
Yeah, true.
That he blames on he claims a rough upbringing, but I don't see a rough upbringing. I see about what you would expect from an upbringing in the 60s in America if you were a lower middle class.
I do feel sorry for him in that sense. But I mean, like, if he started young, that's his whole childhood gone. Midnight.
Yeah, but he still sounds like, I mean, like, again, this is what, this is the 40s. This was a harsher time for, you know, it was different. It was not like the way we kind of fucking soften everything for our children now. It's back then.
My kids go working at midnight.
Oh, I know that, but what I'm saying is it was different back then, like, you know. It's not an excuse.
No, I'm not saying it was an excuse, but
31 plus raped, 17 to 37 killed. You know,
you're extrapolating on what
I'm saying is his excuse.
Okay.
Of my mom was a little distant, and my dad fucking made me work.
Oh, wait.
You know, and it was like, that's not really a good excuse because there are families.
I was just about to say there'd be millions of serial killers.
Because there are lesser fortunate families who all have to fucking work and all have to fucking, you know, make up the fucking money. That'd be like fucking the cast of us watching Shameless and the end of the fucking show Shameless that used to be on, what channel was it on in America?
I don't know what channel. Was it AMC? No? I don't know.
But they basically it ended with them all becoming serial killers because they all had to work so fucking hard. But it didn't. It ended them with them all fucking finding their paths and becoming good people. And that's what most people do. But this asshole went another way. And I mean, even moving to a place like Alaska, you know the guy is up to no good.
They said that on the documentary. They're like, if you're moving to Anchorage, you're running away for something.
That's it. But that seems to be like there's nothing up there, especially back then. This is like they said he went up there at the start of the point where they were building these pipelines. That the community grew over time. From
like 60,000 to 250,000, was
something
it? Something
like that. Like, which is huge. Like, but I mean, I love the place as well. Pocahontas. Oh no, I grew up in Pocahontas. But anyway, but Anchorage, fucking. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it baffles me. And this guy just. How calm and chilled out he was talking about it and just didn't seem to give a fuck. And he's one of the very few serial killers we have as well, outside of maybe, I suppose you could say, Son Salmon and Zodiac, who shoot to kill.
Yeah.
You know, usually the serial killers like to be up close and personal, and it's a stabbing or a choking or something of that manner. But this guy seemed to no. Again, they say he liked to get in. He struggled with him a little bit as well. Like, you know, obviously, and he was raping him, so he had to be getting in there. But he usually finished him off by letting him run a little bit and
bye.
And that's it. Yeah. Did he make much attempt at hiding the bodies? Or was it a thing of he just left them
I know that one of the bodies was left out in the open because the ground was cold. The ground was still frozen, like, so he couldn't actually.
I
think there was another. I think there was one other one that was left out, but there was some others were in shallow graves. And there's two found quite close to each other, as far as I can remember.
It's so fucking creepy. And like again, I think what made it creepy for me was just the fact that I was watching New Blood at the exact same time as we were studying this. And it was so fucking... I mean, it literally... Kirk Caldwell is just a fucking... more personable, better, nicer Robert Hansen. But it's the same fucking idea, you know, that the cabin in the woods, the girl being brought out there, you know, fucking... And then just left loose to be hunted, like... And it's just so fucking... I mean, the idea of it's terrifying, right, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, that those girls are running in that show, and it's like, you know, you're not getting away. He's literally pointing. He gets you know. I love that one scene though, where the girl just said "fuck it" and she wouldn't run, and she ran at him instead of running from him. He still shot her, but fucked the whole thing up for him, and he was even screaming at her like, "You messed it up." I wonder if that what it is with fucking Hansen. Is there 3 or 4 there that was the case where the girl wouldn't fucking run, the girl wouldn't be hunted? He had to kill him beforehand, and that fucked it up because that wasn't his style, and he wanted to be known as the hunter kind of fucking serial killer. You know? Because I assume these guys have... I mean, rationally, they have to be kind of thinking in the back of their head, what is the scenario if I get caught? Do you know, I assume they think they'd have like the idea of, okay, so... Obviously, plan A is we get away with this and we do this for the rest of our life and we die, and that's great, and I get to kill people until I fucking die.
Yeah.
But there's also the real other scenario of where most other serial killers end up, and that is being killed in the process of killing or being arrested and fucking brought to justice for it. And do they start planning what they want their public image to be? Are they that narcissistic that they start thinking about, like BTK was, because BTK was open about it, but do the rest of them stop and think, well, if I get caught, this is how I'm going to act. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to...
Yeah, the ones that want the publicity, the ones that want the fame out of it, yeah.
I mean, Bundy obviously went running in there going, I didn't do it! And a lot of them usually run in with the fucking I didn't do it thing first, but, when they settle into it, do they have an idea in their head of what they want to be? Did Gacy know he wanted to be the killer clown? Did Bundy know he wanted to be the prep boy fucking kind of killer? Did fucking Kemper know he was going to be a bumbling fucking idiot fucking Jolly Green Giant fucking killer?
Kemper alone.
Huh?
So leave Kemper alone.
But Ed Kemper looks like a guy you give a hug to.
But
the only problem is he pops your fucking head off when you fucking hug him. It's like a fucking gorilla.
It's such a fucking contradiction, like when you look at it at him and then you read what he did. Like it's so fucking weird.
It is fucking just because he seems like someone I'd be friends with. I'd like, but
then you read you find out what.
But I said the same thing to you about fucking Kirk Caldwell in the show. I was like, I understand Harrison's attraction to Caldwell because I would find him to be an authority figure that I could follow as well. I would listen to, who seems to listen to me but gives good advice, but gives not parental advice where it's like fucking, when your parents give you advice but it's always kind of like, you shouldn't do this with waggling a finger at you, where it's more like friendly advice, where I'm giving you this kind of advice as an older friend, wiser friend, and he takes care of people. And if you didn't know about what he's actually up to with the women, he seems like a guy you'd want to stay close to, a guy that would help you progress in life as well, like,
Absolutely.
No, we get to our last guy before we finish up, because I'm still hoping I'm going to get Planet of the Apes in tonight, or Kingdom of Planet of the Apes in tonight. But that's John List. And I will tell you now, looking at John List's story, I think, really, Dexter's plan for how he killed himself in the show was the best one. If there's a hurricane going out there and making your boat crash and being lost at sea is probably the best way to fake your own death. Because they're not going to continue searching the sea for a body.
That is true.
And you're gone. And if you had no reason to be missing to begin with, if you had no real bad thing, you just decided to do that, you wanted to get a new fresh start in life, it's a good way to fucking go.
Yeah.
But media and technology seems to catch up with all these guys. I mean, Dexter gets found out by Instagram. And John List gets found out by unsolved crimes on TV.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you want to run through them a bit?
Yeah. So John List, he was an American mass murderer and long-time fugitive. And on November 9th, 1971, he killed his wife, his mother, his 3 children at their home in West Bend, New Jersey, and then disappeared. He planned the murders so meticulously that nearly a month passed before anyone suspected that anything was amiss. List assumed a new identity, remarried, and eluded justice for nearly 18 years. He was finally apprehended in Virginia on June 1st, 1989, after the story of his murders was broadcast on the television program America's Most Wanted. After extradition to New Jersey, he was convicted on 5 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 5 consecutive terms of life imprisonment, even making him ineligible for parole for 75 years.
Do you know what's fucked up about this case? Up until last week, I thought Kalamazoo was only a place in Dr. Seuss books.
I know, but then
and the second week in a fucking row, we have gotten Kalamazoo with a fucking serial, with a psycho killer.
Yep.
But this guy, I don't know what. I don't. We weren't able to find a documentary about this guy, so we watched that Lifetime film, true movie. I haven't seen a true movie in ages, and it was your usual cheesy fucking kind of shit, but there was times I felt sorry for him. But I think they had this ridiculous kind of side story that the sister of his wife didn't really care that he killed her because of the syphilis and shit, but she didn't understand why he killed the kids. And that's kind of the biggest part of this for me as well.
So they have syphilis as well?
No.
Because congenital syphilis can be passed on.
But he points that out in the movie, and I think it points out in the real thing as well. It was past that point. She didn't realise she had syphilis. It was long past the point before he was sleeping with her. And it wasn't contagious after
Yeah,
that.
no, but they had kids together. Once you have syphilis, you can pass it on to your kids in the womb.
I have no idea. They didn't really specify. But, yeah, I mean, like, you gotta really ask yourself again in these cases, why the fuck didn't he just leave? Did he have to kill him?
Because
They weren't going to go looking for him.
Yeah, he killed them to make sure that they had a place in heaven because he thought that the world was all evil, that she has syphilis and she was evil, and he didn't want to kill himself because that him being Christian would make him not go to heaven and they wouldn't be reunited.
To be fair, this feels like a guy who was just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. You know, where we say like Robert Hansen really had no fucking excuse, his excuse was weak. This guy was
How
fucking...
much of that movie is like the house and all that? Is that true?
Yeah. They were living well outside.
I know they were living, but did she push for the house that bad?
A bit, yeah.
For him as well.
Yeah, no. I think he kind of had told her near the end, like, that they needed to move out of the house. Okay. They needed to fucking start living with him. He was struggling, like. She was spending like it was no tomorrow. She was living like they were a higher class. And he, at the same time, was, you know, trying to just keep up with it. And then he lost his job and he was kind of fucking pulling off his mother's funds and stuff like that. And
yeah,
she didn't know about it. And it just seems... And then on top of it, he's got his wife who's a drunk, who's taking prescription pills, whose brain is going from syphilis. But before it was going from syphilis, she was spending all her time telling him how he couldn't compare to her ex-husband who gave her the syphilis. He was a soldier who...
Was an ex-husband.
What?
He died.
Died, sorry. Well, yeah. But still ex. Widowed husband, whatever you go. That's your ex-husband. Because he's not her husband no more. He's dead.
I don't know. I think if anything happened to you, I'd still call you my husband.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, her first husband, her first husband gave her syphilis, which he gave her from a prostitute that he got while out with the army. And
while they were together.
She went to visit him in Japan or something like that, and he gave her syphilis, but she didn't know about it. And it got worse and started to fuck up her brain, and that was what partially what played on it. And again, it was kind of the point of, well, yeah, you could see why he might shoot her and then leave. But then he shot his mother, his mother was a fucking holy Joe, alright. She was mad about fucking all this Jesus crap. But at the same time, she gave him the money for the down payment of the house. She was there when he was taking care of him. So I don't know.
She was a loving mother to him, but I'd say she warped him a bit at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what mother can't be? I mean, there's a lot of fucking mothers like that, like, you know. From what I hear from fucking sitcoms, if this was the case, Jewish people would be killing people all over the place.
Yeah.
And not just in one country. Surrounding countries. Maybe that's where they also percent. I gotta shut up. Anyway. Yeah, so he managed to fucking go missing for, what was it, 18 years?
Yeah, 17, 18, let me have a look here. He went missing for
18 years, I think.
18 years.
And was spotted by a neighbour on America. What was it? America's
Most Wanted.
No, was it Most Wanted or was it Unsolved Mysteries?
No, it was America's Most Wanted. I literally just said it.
Did you see that he was questioned for the DB Cooper stuff as well?
Yeah, then they
thought he was DB. He's too boring to be DB. He's too nervous to be DB Cooper. If he was anything like he was in that movie in real life, then there is no way he was the smooth criminal that was DB fucking Cooper.
He doesn't even look like DB Cooper.
DB Cooper had balls of steel. There is no denying that, like, you know.
Sure.
But there is like a fucking bit. We'll do DB Cooper someday, but there's speaking of trans people earlier on, there is a theory that there is a trans woman who is DB Cooper, and she's admitted to friends at one point.
Go away.
So there's a possibility that DB Cooper transitioned afterwards, and that's why
what a good idea.
They weren't found.
Do you think they took the money to transition? Was it like Dog Day Afternoon?
Might be. Oh yeah, might be. That's a true story too. That's
when was
freaky.
Dog Day? What?
70, early 70s.
When did? Yeah, I'm looking for the
DB Cooper happened in 1972. No, a 1972 list was proposed as a suspect, so it would have been before 72, the 60s, late 60s. Early 70s?
1971. And Dog Day Afternoon. I can't think of the guy's name.
Oh, I'm singing the song that's playing in my ear. People can't hear it. Anyway, yeah, America's Most Wanted. But they did an age-progressed clay bust to the guy as well, so that's kind of what gave him away. But I don't think you have to fucking really...
between them, less than a year.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm, in real life.
Maybe they were just having a problem with that then. I don't know. But I don't know why they needed to make the clay bust of him being aged up. Because let's face it, I mean, back then, once you were like a parent and in your 30s, you looked old and you stay looking the same old until you hit your like fucking 70s. And then you looked decrepit old until you were like dead.
Gone.
And that's what it was like up until like recent times.
People start staying a lot younger.
Huh?
People started staying a lot younger, alright.
Younger, longer, like?
Looking.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. 100%. When you see some of these serial killers that we look at, and I'd be looking at him and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, what was he caught? And he's like 50s. He's like, nah, your man's like 24. I was like, what?
But even like looking at, so like when you have the old wrestling on, and like I see some women, and it's like, there's no way, like she's still, but like, yeah. I think Sable was the one that did it for me, and she kind of looks a lot older. Not wrinkles or anything like that, but the way, like...
She's got a harsh face. Don't tell Brock Lesnar I said that. She's beautiful. Don't hurt me, Brock. I
don't think Brock Lesnar is going to be bothered that you think Sable has a harsh face.
Did you see the picture? You want to see something horrific? Look up the picture of Brock Lesnar with the fucking bear carcass.
Oh,
this guy, he's since he's been off wrestling over his alleged pooping fucking threesome with Vince McMahon, he's been out hunting. And I think it's a bear.
All of these are blocked.
It has to be a bear. Well, that's because it's decapitated, its arms are chopped off. He's standing there holding a fucking meat cleaver in a fucking apron out in the fucking ice fucking block. Like, it's closest thing to a modern Viking you could see. It's all over the place.
Hang on, I have it on factcheck.com or something.
Looks like a fucking bear, yeah? Yeah, what else could it be?
I'm having a look.
It's huge.
It has to be. I think so. Let me have a look.
Anyway, while she looks that up, I'm going to finish off John List so we can get out of here and I can go watch Planet of the Apes while she's looking at this. He did eventually get fucking caught because of America's Most Wanted. He's an ex-neighbour, an old neighbour actually from a different town, called it in, and he was called in by the FBI and eventually admitted to being John List and was in prison for life 5 times over. So John List died in... When did John List die?
John List
died in 2008, so he's now in his second life sentence. We'll let you know when he gets to number 5. Second one might be a long one. But yeah. Did you find that out?
It looks like it could be a bear to me, but the bearded butchers that put up the thing said that it was beef that he was carved. Now the thing is,
like
the
rump of it, maybe?
No, like cow.
That's not no fucking cow. Look at the claws and fuck off.
That doesn't have claws.
Oh, he's got him trapped. That's a bear, man. Definitely.
You see, the thing is, it does it for me when I think it's a bear too, but I can see where they're coming from when you look at like the rump and the way like the hair is kind of looks like a cow's butt. But
I'm going to make a correction from the start of the podcast. I said that I had no nightmare that genuinely frightened me at the time of
Brock Lesnar coming at you.
I had a nightmare about Brock Lesnar one night. And I woke up genuinely worried that it was true. And it was just a really stupid fucking thing. It was about the time I was wrestling. And it was in the dream, someone had told Brock that I didn't think he could that I was saying that I didn't think he could beat me. And Brock took offense to this. And he came up to me and I was instantly like, I said fucking nothing, man. I didn't say fucking nothing, I'm not doing nothing. But he was like, yeah, we're going to have a fight. Playing proper bully fucking shit from like a schoolgirl and you, me, 3 o'clock kind of thing. Like you, me in the ring. And I remember like I'm in the ring. He's across the ring from me and I'm thinking, oh, fuck. And then I woke up and I remember thinking, whew. That was a close one. Yeah, I have no desire to fight that man. Or anybody else. Because I'm retired and a nice, gentle, pacifist person.
You're gentle, giant.
Okay, I'm going to make like John List and get the fuck out of here. See you next week.
Bye-bye.